So anyway, new topic. Hello, I mentioned what we're talking about. I actually have
Wait,
something I want to.
wait.
I have something I want to talk about actually. So there was
Okay.
some type of, the typical meme where people are talking about like, would you slob on a knob for $1 billion?
Yep.
And I know most people would say yes because they are no different than a dog. They have that dog mentality. But I think I would say no.
No, I was saying yes, like I hear what you're saying.
No, 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 no.
But I
It's
mean,
okay. It's okay. We all knew what you meant. I know you did it for free once. I know you paid for it
no.
once. So that's up to you. Oh, would you? What is it? A dime for a dime? Or what is the quote?
And nickel to take my pickle.
You're like, no, 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 no. I'm paying you.
Here's $1. Okay, I don't have a nickel.
But anyway, I think I would say no. Like literally, it could be $1 billion.
So you're gonna give us opportunity to be able to give your mom the life that she wants for the rest of her life because of
The
pride.
money, yes, it's that pride because that sticks with you. You will always know in the back of your head, I slobbed the knob for this freaking billion. Well, it's different. It's different. Like if you,
And then I'm
okay,
and
okay.
then I'm gonna face then I'm gonna FaceTime my mom and see that she's enjoying life and she's happy and she has a bit brightest smile on her face. I'm gonna say that was worth it.
Okay, okay. The difference, I think,
Good.
okay, the difference then is if you didn't want to slop on the knob. I'm saying you didn't, and the only thing that made you do it is that billion. That isn't that no
Yeah,
different
that's the
than,
only reason I would do it.
but isn't that no different than what the religions have been teaching us all along? These thrills, these things that are so easy to make. These things that technically is the easy route. The thing that you wouldn't want to do in a storybook setting. If you were a character of a story, Deontay, the main character, and then you see, oh, this book's only 3 pages long. He just slobbed at a knob and that's it. He finished. Conclusion done. He made his billion. You'd be like, what the heck? This is not a story worth reading. You were
Good
soulless
thing I don't
there.
read.
You were literally a soulless NPC. You know what's the soul? The person with a lot of soul is the one who said no. Where you're like, what? Why did he pass down on $1 billion freaking dollars? Now the gods are watching because they're like, what the heck is this guy doing? I can't believe he passed
You
down on
know,
this.
I like see everybody wants main character energy and a main character lifestyle. That's all fine, well, and good. Okay. I don't mind being an NPC if that means that other people in my life can be the main character. So, me just having the preface of slobbing a knob, right? Getting the $1 billion, walking away with a smile on my face, knowing that the rest of like my family,
There's
mainly my
residue.
parents, my sisters, that can get wiped off, and then like my brothers in arms, um, I just like walk away with a smile on my face, knowing that they are set for life. Whatever they want, I can officially give them. They don't have to worry about anything. They can be the main character, and then my story can end. That I'm perfectly fine with that.
Pathetic. No self worth.
No, no, there's not.
I am not, because the worst part about slobbing on a knob is
There's
you
nothing
are
bad about it.
looking at there's no like kind of halfway doing it. You have a whole slong in your whole gob, and you got to
Uh-huh.
look a little bit. So you're looking up, or you're looking at his stomach, or you're looking up at his face. So now you're looking up. You can't look down. You're in a fully what's the word? You're in a permissive,
You can
like the
close your
most
eyes.
permissive position you possibly can be. You're
You can close your
allowing
eyes.
no, 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 because you know the presence because you're slobbing on it. Either you are slobbing on it, so that means you're doing movement. I didn't say you just have your mouth on it. You're slobbing on it, or the dude
Oh, I know.
is pumping your mouth. There's no good option. You're in the
I
most
don't care. I'm doing it
pessimistic
for a
position.
billion dollars. It's getting done.
You can if you will forever be changed after that. forever. Even if
Yeah, I
you
don't
have your
care.
billion,
Everybody
that
else
will
in my
be
life
in
will
the
be
back of
taken
your
care of.
mind. Your whole freaking mentality will be changed after that because you have hit the lowest. You can.
You would be sitting on your private jet, flying to different countries with your family, saying that dick was worth it. See, like that's really what would like really be going through your head because like none of this would be possible if I didn't do that. Like I'm grateful
See, but
that that
that's
happened.
a, you're already presuming that none of that would have been possible. Let's just say maybe, who knows, 10 years from then, if you didn't slob on that, you're like, wait a minute, I passed on $1 billion myself. I'm gonna make up the debt. And then, the gods are watching you, so they're helping you out a bit because they can't believe you didn't slob on that knob. They're like, every person we gave this option to slobbed, and you didn't. We're gonna help you out a little bit. That billionaire, you're the one who got away. That billionaire is always thinking, like, I can't believe that is the one person who never slobbed. That person's constantly thinking about you. You know
I
how
don't
much
mind.
power you have now? You're literally a god at that point. Asked on
I don't mind.
godhood for a billion filthy of this useless paper. You know what I do with paper? Something a dog doesn't do. I wipe with it.
Why are you hating on dogs, Jesus? That's just what I want to know. Okay.
They're just they're just not. I already told you. I only respect evolved creatures. Dogs haven't evolved yet. They need a couple more million years. Cats, though, they're right on the cusp. I bet you 1,000 years from now, you're going to be having a full conversation with a cat. Well, presuming you're still alive, you're gonna have a full conversation with a cat, and that cat's going to remember. They're going to be listening to this podcast. They're like, "Dang, you, you disrespected us." And you know what? Because the cat's a bigger person, it's going to walk away, but not look back. The principle of it won't look back.
Maybe it doesn't need to look back.
It's kind of beautiful when you think about it.
Yeah, dogs are beautiful, aren't they?
Uh, Dogs are
Yes, they
filthy.
really
They
are.
literally lick you, and their tongue's all slobby. Meanwhile, if a cat licks you, it's dry. The dog is constantly
There's nothing
slobbering,
wrong.
and that's the small dogs. The big dogs, they have that goopy drool. That's so nasty, and it's like hanging off the side of their mouth. Ugh. But yeah, I'm not slobbing on a knob unless,
I am
unless,
with no issue.
unless it's like a
Shit,
fem
I don't
girl
care.
or fem boy kind of thing. Like it looks no different than a girl. It has a very smooth, feminine schlong
I
and
don't care.
small, and it
It
has
can
to be
be
small. I'm not
if
slobbing on
it
even if it's a like it looks just like a girl. If it's longer than like 3 inches,
what if it's
4 inches, I'll say four
one
inches max.
what what if it's like $100 billion on the line?
I don't. If I'm not slobbing on a grown man's knob.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not
If it's a
slobbing on
hundred
a
billion
young
dollars on the
man's
line,
knob. I'm not slobbing on anyone's knob.
if if it's 100 billion on the line, I don't care what they want me to do. It's getting done. I'm being honest.
The
Okay.
only way I would slob on a knob is if it's like the cross-dressing thin girl brands, whatever. Because I mean, if you're doing that to a girl, like if you're like what I don't know what slobbing on a knob, like what's the equivalent like girl? Because I mean, that's basically doing the same thing technically. It's just one is a lot longer, I guess. What is that called? Chittering on a no. See, slob on a knob is just a perfect term. But yeah, I would never. It's the principle of it.
I would
It's the principle.
with a smile on my face.
It's the same with like, would you kill someone for $1 trillion? Would you pull that trigger?
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not killing anyone. Remember that when the drafts come out. See, you're getting drafted. Well, maybe you're too old. Actually, we're about to be too old to be drafted now.
Thank God.
27 is the limit.
Jabari, like if I had a good award, like if I got drafted right before, I just want to let you know, do not come near me on the battlefield. My body is so screwed up. my knee's going to give out, and I'm grabbing the first person next to me just for me to be able to pretty much have somebody die with me. Because at that point, I know what's going to happen.
I will be like, I cannot imagine, like World War II, where people are like, I cannot imagine being that, no offense to them, brainwashed to run into the battlefield, because it's different from modern day war. World War II, you're literally running into bullets.
Oh yeah,
Or
I've
like
done
say
that.
D-Day. Like D-Day is insane to me that people actually did that. Like you're throwing up, but then you do it anyway. You're just like, I'm gonna run. Like it's still brave, I guess, but I could never do that. Like I value my life. I want to live. I would literally just sit in the boat. I would swim or something. Just sit at the bottom of the ocean and wait a little bit, and then come up for air, and then go back down.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm grabbing somebody to go down with me. I have to be honest. So you
I
better hope that's not you.
No, I mean it wouldn't be me because, like I said, I already know my strategies. I'm not.
You have to get off of me. No,
No, if anything, I'm like,
let go. I can't.
Deontay, look. I'm gonna throw a grenade over there, and we're gonna run the other way.
You do that, my knee gives out as we're running. I drop
I'm
down.
leaving you. I'm,
I'm not lying, Jabari. I'm shooting you in the leg. I am shooting you in the
no,
leg,
I'm gonna serpentine
and I'm
so
crawling to
much,
you.
you're not gonna be able to aim. It's, I'll just be a blur how much I'm serpentining.
I'm just gonna throw like a grenade, like right in your
No,
direction.
if I saw your knee, if your knee gave out, my body would find a new energy source to run like 40 miles per hour. I'm not letting you be the reason I get caught.
You want to know something crazy? If Evan's with us, you know he's gonna do one of two things. He's either gonna try to pick me up and help me run, or he's gonna try to stop you from running and try to get you to help me.
No. What Evan would do is when I
I can
gave
just
the
imagine you and Evan like getting you and Evan getting into a fight while I'm like trying to get to stand back up for my knee to not give out anymore.
See, you're assuming that Evan would actually run with us. See, I would give you the, hey, Deontay, I think we're going to throw the grenade this way. And I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm not going to get in trouble for you. And then we're like, Evan, we're literally going onto Omaha Beach. We're going to die. He's like, well, you are going to die, but I'm not going to get in
You did
trouble.
that so perfectly. Well, yeah. I forgot all about that. Yeah, you're gonna die with me. I'm sorry.
No.
You know
I
what
don't
would be
even.
crazy?
I didn't even want to hold because like O'Neill and Trevor has a gun license and stuff, and O'Neill let
Hmm.
me like hold his gun, and that
Hmm.
actually freaked me out because I didn't know guns were that heavy. Like
Yeah,
that had power to it.
yeah. Have you shot it?
No, I don't
They're
even know if I
literally called.
can.
You know how they're called hand cannons?
Yeah,
There's a reason for that. Like if like the power that produces, that's ridiculous.
there's something
I love
about it.
shooting.
I just don't. I don't like that power. That's too much power. But then again, past people were freaking firing long arrows. The thing will literally explode your head. Like, can you imagine living in the past during like war times? You're literally trying to slice someone's arm off with a sword in close combat, and then in long combat, there's a freaking bow and arrow dude launching literal like freaking spears at you at Mach speeds.
They wouldn't be launching them at me. I'm telling you that much.
Well, I mean, presuming if I were in the past, I would be a king. So, I mean, it would be you fighting. It'd be me just sitting there at the top of the tower, but like, it seems we're losing this battle. I guess we'll try tomorrow. That's the crazy thing to me. Like, I was listening to some like Civil War thing. Like, there was whatever
Hmm.
battle. Maybe it's in Pennsylvania or something, or Gettysburg, I guess. Yeah, I think it was Gettysburg. Is Gettysburg in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, Jabari.
I mean, I was right though. I was right though. That's all that matters. I questioned it, but I was right.
Typical of a Western Branch graduate.
Uh, Western Branch is the greatest area in the world for growing
Then
up.
why don't you want to move back?
For growing up, because it created me.
You got to clarify that really quick.
But anyway,
Oh man, I just realized something, Jabari. Happy Black History Month.
oh, true. Dang.
What? So, what are your thoughts on this beautiful month?
It's a wonderful month, The first podcast to come out for Black History Month is has a raining horse in El Toro. It's also the first podcast that people will view when this ad comes out. Ooh. So either that's going to go very well or very bad. But yeah, it's crazy to me that there were generals who were watching the battle happen from like on top of top of a building or something, or like say from a clock tower, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
watching. They're just chilling up there while they're watching their troops die because it was like say it was the Battle of Gettysburg. So was it the they lost that battle though? Whatever you call it, the South lost. So like whatever his name was, whoever Robert E. Lee or whoever was the general, whatever his name was, he's just watching it happen. He's chilling. He's just watching people die. He's like, oh man, we need to move our troops this way a little bit. It's like playing a video game. Those people were literally NPCs to him. That's what's crazy about scale, or like the scale of stuff. Like once it gets too big, people are literally seen as NPC. Like look at insurance.
You know what I realized?
What?
If we were born like back then, we would be completely different people. Not like back in the slave days, but like during like the days of like the wars and everything.
Mm, I mean, we would just be like our grandparents. That's it.
Ooh,
Or however old people act now, right now. That's probably how we would be acting. Because that's the
got it.
funny thing. Like, say the old person, like how old people have a voice, like, oh, you guys are so you sweet buttercup, whatever kind of thing, like that stereotypical old voice. That was just how people talked back then. It's not that that's the old voice. That's just the accent of the time. So 50 years from now, we're going to be talking just like how we talk right now, but the
Whoa.
grandchildren will think that our voice is old, even though I'm talking exactly how I talk right now. They'll be like, "Oh, that's an old person voice." However their voice will be or their lingo will be, because I'll say something like, "Oh man," uh, uh, I'll say "oof," and they'll be like, "Oh, that's an old person term. Look at these old people always using oof," because that's
Do you like old people?
what
Do you like old people?
in America I do. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
No, 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 no. I want to know. I'm curious.
No, no, no. I'm not going to say it on a podcast.
No, 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 no. Go ahead.
Oh, this is no, 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 no. Nice try, nice try.
No, Jabari, go ahead.
Uh,
I mean, this is your platform after all, right?
only thing I'll say is that people walk really slow here, and so do young people. So I mean, there's that's I mean, so I had a theory. I mean, this podcast
No, no, no,
doesn't.
no, no. Don't try to change it.
I wonder if the speed of walking equates to the happiness of the city.
That's fair.
Because I wonder if,
That's
like, say the
actually a
faster
really
you
good
walk,
question.
is because you have places to go. So you want to be somewhere fast. And that's why you're walking faster. So I would argue maybe it's people are happier in a more fast paced type of city, technically. Because, like, let's say everyone's walking slow. That means they have no places to be. So that means they're just wasting time away because they're bored. Or, well, not happier. I should say happy. I mean, like, more fun or more like energetic or whatever. Because if you're walking super slow, that means you literally have no place to be, or you don't really care when you reach that destination because there's nothing exciting at that destination in the first place. Someone should do a study on that.
Why don't you do it?
Because it would be a free study, I wouldn't know where to publish it.
We can figure it out.
Uh,
Come on, let's do it. Come on,
Maybe I'll
Jabari.
do it when I have more time.
You have enough time.
Uh, no. But is there any other topic? Is there any other topic? No, nothing really else to say, unless you have a topic.
I have a question for you.
What?
Because someone asked me this yesterday while I was at work. Do
Would you
think
slob
body
on a
count
knob for
matters?
$1 million?
Yes. Do you think body count matters in a relationship?
Yes. I mean, ironically, I feel like you already knew the answer for me. I mean, I'm not going to say it, like, it depends on the threshold. Like, there's a threshold when it starts to matter, I think.
Okay.
Like, let's just
What?
say, I would say my threshold, I would be okay. Well, one, oh, hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
All right.
Now, as
So
I
you
was
were saying?
saying, for me, I think my threshold would be, well, first of all, I just wouldn't want to know in the first place.
Okay.
Second of all, of course, since I myself am a virgin, I would prefer, like, if I had the choice, I would prefer the person to also be a virgin. But again, my threshold, I would say once it gets above, like, I mean, I would still be looking at them a little off, but like once it gets above 15, that's when it's getting a little weird. Like where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you're really kind of like, you're not really dating people. You're just like, you're just banging people. Like you like there's no
Yeah.
like method to it. You're just, kind of taking advantage of the body kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I would say like
That's fair.
like I can go up to like, once it gets to that 15 range, it's starting to get weird. And like where it's a
Yeah.
no-go is when it's getting to like if they're openly talking about like, yeah, I'd have over 30, like that's when I'm like, okay, I'm not touching you like at all. You're
Yeah.
like I'm not even being your friend. That's getting kind of weird, like actually weird. Like,
Yeah.
and there was someone I knew who was like that, where there was always that thing that made me kind of like where I'm looking at them a little weird. Is because it's like,
Yeah.
and I know it's probably it. I mean, I guess it's kind of sexist, but I think it's weirder, to be honest, for a girl to have a high body count than for a dude technically. And I know there's already the comments or already the argument being made, but hear me out for just a little bit. I'm not saying this is a valid argument, but I still think there is a factor. It's because for a male, it's very difficult to get this high body count unless you're like a super Chad.
Mhm.
Like most dudes do, I would argue most dudes do not have over 5 because it's hard. Because there's many dudes who are horn dog. There are not many girls who are horn dog. So the options are very low. Even though the dudes are very very horn dog, and they would go above 5 if they had the choice. But it's harder to find that, like, to be that kind in that kind of situation. But
Yeah.
for a girl, because all dudes are horn dog, it's not difficult to have a high body count. Like if a girl wanted to, every day she could just say, "Who wants to come over?" And there will be one dude who says yes. Like, yeah, most girls have
I
a hot.
do.
Yeah, even though most girls, of course, have a self-worth kind of thing, like they're not going to just bang an ugly dude just because. But still, just regardless, it is easier for a girl to have a high body count. So because it's easier, it makes it even weirder when they have a high body count, because that means that, they weren't really doing, like, there was no difficulty to it. So that means
Hmm.
because there's no difficulty to it, you have to question like the mentality of it. Like, why are you banging so many of these dudes? Like, you could do the same for the dude if the dude had 50 freaking, like a body count of 50, but
Yeah.
there's still like a difficulty factor where you're like, how the heck did he do that? But like for a girl, it's like you're not thinking how the heck did she do that? You're thinking why did she do that? Like
Did she
why
do that?
is her body
Right.
count that high? So I think even though I know regardless, even though to me that sounds rational, I know there's going to be this whole fight about it, like in the later years, if the Jabari Wilson goes popular, there'd be this whole fight because I don't think people want to. Well, I don't think some women want to hear that, and usually it's the women with the high body counts because there's the whole sex positive thing. But even though there's the sex positive, it still is a little weird. Rather it's the dude or the
Yeah.
girl. If you have a body count getting to those 30s, it's getting more than just kind of weird. It's getting to that point where it's
Yeah.
like you really need to start like considering like I don't know, like considering like
Therapy.
yeah, like why are you finding new people often? Like because presumably when you have those high body counts, you're not talking to those people anymore. Like it'd be different. I think I would. I don't know. I don't know. Like if you had like over 30, like to make it seem normal.
Wait, what?
I'm trying to like try to make 30 a body count of 30 seem like something that's kind of more normal.
Amongst women, it is. I will say that.
I don't know if that is amongst women it is. I think it's becoming more common, but I don't think it's a common thing.
No, I'm not saying like as far as like tried and true over the ages, but for example, I was watching. I just saw this little snippet. It was this girl on a podcast. She's like one of the like co-hosts or whatever. She's 18 years old, and her dad was on the show. They were talking about relationships, sex, and all that
What
stuff.
the heck?
And
That's weird
they
already.
asked the they asked the like they asked the girl what her body count was, and she didn't want to answer because her dad was there. But her dad, he's like, well, this is my 18-year-old daughter, blah blah blah. Just he kind of like wants to know like what she's, I guess like what she's really like what his daughter really is like outside of what her parents know her as. So the dad was like, you can answer it if you want, blah blah blah. And she was like, she said about 10 or 12 or whatever, and like at 18, and her dad like you saw the despair on his face. He was like 10, and he literally said, but you're only 18, you know and like a lot of girls like in the comments and everything, they were like, that's not bad, it's her body, blah 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 blah, like I had this amount when I was her age, I had this amount like when
Well,
I
I
was a
feel
few
like
years
at
older than her,
18,
blah 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 blah.
the problem is that like because again, we're thinking of it in a dude perspective where it's like, dang, that's hard
Mm-hmm.
to work your way up talking to a girl for this long and then, you know, finally, have an intimate kind of interaction with her. And let's just say, on average, maybe it takes 2 to 3 weeks just for the one girl. And then and then let's say for the second girl, again, 2 to 3 weeks. But let's say if it's a girl, every 2 to 3 weeks, she's finding a new dude. So that let's just say on average, it might be one bang a month. So then that's why, like
Mm-hmm.
when she turned 18, you know, 12 months later or 11 months later, she's 18, but she has a body count of 10 because, like, on average, she bangs like around a dude a month. But if you're banging around a dude a month for multiple years, that's when it starts to get weird. That's why I say 30, like that 30 hit, where it's like you've been doing around a dude a month for, on average, for 3 years. You've let 30 people see your see your body in an intimate way. I think I'm more traditional in that way, where I'm like, I kind of want
Yeah.
my thing to be more special, even though you could be like, oh man, it's isn't it ironic? I mean, what if a dude has a 30 body count? Like what like say I got famous and I had a 30
My
body
man.
count, but then I'm like, I would argue it's weird for the dude too, because I'm like, I don't know, if you're banging a new person and you only last like because a person a month, so that means around 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks,
Yeah.
you're on to the next person. Another 3 to 4 weeks, you're on to the next person. That means, I think the reason why it's bad, there's two reasons why it's bad. One, it shows that you don't really have a lasting relationship with these people, like ever. So that,
Yeah.
that pattern is going to continue. So that means with me, I'm not saying that any person I meet is going to be like, oh man, like I'm saying it feels up. I don't care about body count. if it's like a short relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, let's just say like this is someone like. I was thinking like, okay, I think I really like this person, and I want to like actually like, let's just say even just regular date them. It would be hard for me to see them in that way if they told me they had a body count of that high, because I would be like, how many people are you talking to? Like, are you talking to some person right now for the replacement of me? Like, maybe it's more of a self-conscious thing. Why the body count is a disturbance, because the higher it gets, the more likely that you will also be part of that number.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't know, like say if it's like at marrying age, like let's say you're 30 and you're like, okay, I'm thinking of marrying someone. I'm meeting all these people. It's, I don't know. There's something about the idea that this person had this history, even though let's say that history's gone forever. There's the fact that history did happen where you're like, ooh, I kind of see you a little bit different. You have a body count of 70 people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you're
like if
only
you do the
28.
average, like, okay, that was like one dude every 2 months or something. But it still is like, ooh, that's like 70. You had a pattern to it. You literally had a schedule practically of banging a dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of, ooh. Now, I would say I'm saying strictly like sex. I think kissing 70 people is still weird, but I think it depends on how intimate it gets, which I think most people are talking about the intimacy. Because I think, like, say, a body count of 20 was only strictly kiss. I think that's a completely different like, different context than like someone who has full blown sex. Like, literally, they go to a bedroom, have a private intercourse 70 times with 70 different people. I mean, so I do want to give that one little addition.
So, like, something that's really crazy is there is this girl that I knew and like was messing around with. She didn't tell me until like after we started like messing around for a while. But this girl would like, she's had sex with over 140 people. She lost count after 140. And like what's really crazy is with her, her thing is, for example, she went overseas with her best friend. I forgot like where she went around this time. But anyway, she went overseas with her best friend. They did not want to like pay for hotels or anything like that. Sorry, my client just texted me. And I'm also mixing a song. Like they didn't want to pay for hotels, like breakfast, things like that. So what they would do, they would literally find different guys every single day.
I think you said this in a podcast before.
Yeah, like, and sleep with them just so they wouldn't have to pay for hotels or whatever for like an entire summer. And like when I was like with her, I asked, I was like, oh, I mean, but it was just like the same guy for the summer, right? And they were like, no, it was different guys each night.
She has many diseases. I already know, which means you do. I'm sorry
No, I got checked.
I'm sorry to tell you.
I got checked.
I'm sorry to tell you this.
No. I got checked.
I'm sorry.
After her.
But there is something I want to bring up about that, actually, about her telling you. Because I was even talking to my mom, not about this, but something related. So in this, I think it was 90.
I'm just imagining you talking to your mom like, yeah, Mom, so there was this girl that Deontay was sleeping with.
But I think it was 90 Day Fiance or something she was watching where, like, say she was marrying or planning to marry this dude who is, I think he's Muslim or Christian, but basically he comes from Africa or something. He's Muslim or Christian. And then right before they marry, she was like, I really feel like I need to tell you this. And she, I guess it's been on her mind for a while. And, she felt that it was important to tell him that she's actually a little bit bi. Like, she's not fully bi, but, she's a little bit bi. And of course, the husband or the fiance was like, what the heck, like, this, and it changed how he looked at her, and he really did not like knowing that. And
Yeah.
like everyone was jumping on him because she's like, oh, you should be more accepting, you should be like this about, like, because she was telling you something very important, and she really felt that was something important. But me and my mom agreed that personally we think it was the girl who should not have done that, because she knew that her fiance was a strict religious. Why did you feel that you felt that you needed to say something that important, that you're going to say something? You knew what his reaction was probably going to be, which was that he doesn't like that someone is, gay, when he's a strict religious. Strict religious do not like gay people. That's just fact. So why did she feel she needed to tell him that? You should have just kept that to yourself. And that's my same thing with the body count thing. For me, that's why I even said that when we first brought it up. I wouldn't want them to tell me in the first place. Like, don't tell me your body count. That should be something kept to you. I don't know why this whole thing, like this kind of sexualized openness thing happened, where people feel, not only do they feel it's okay, but they feel obligated to tell you their own private life stuff. Whereas like most people don't care. They don't want to hear, like, okay, I meet this girl, I think she's cute, I think she's fun to hang out with. Why does she think she needs to tell me, hey, by the way, my body count is 70? I don't need to know that. There was no reason that you needed to tell me that. It wasn't that important to risk the dynamic of the relationship to say something, or these certain secrets. Like, let's just say let's say you married someone and secretly she had an affair, or say you had an affair, but that was like early on in the relationship. 70 years after, you need to just keep that to yourself. Why change the dynamic of the relationship if she didn't need to know? Like, obviously, like, it's good to be honest, but I don't think you should say certain things when you know what the reaction is going to be like. Like, it's never the reaction like where it's like, oh, I'm so glad you told me that this whole time behind my back when I was struggling with the baby, you were cheating on me. I'm glad that I know this now. Just keep that in the back burner. You can deal with that guilt on your own. Don't ruin the dynamics of the relationship. Or say with the bi thing. She did not need to tell him that. There was no reason to tell him that. Like, she took a risk that was unneeded, and she got the result. Or say the people with the body count thing. There is never a time where someone goes, you got 60? Nice. No one wants to hear that. Just keep it to yourself. Like, it makes it easier. Now you don't have to deal with the drama. Now you don't have to defend yourself. Just keep it to yourself. Or say people who are like all into this BDSM type stuff. Like, I'm sure more people than you think are doing this crazy sexual stuff in their private residence. But keep it to yourself. You don't need to tell everyone. Like, why do people think they, like, this is like some type of brag-worthy thing to talk about, like, there's sexual history or sexual experiences? That's a personal thing. Keep it personal. Like, it seems like the only people who appreciate that are other people who are just as sexually deviant as them. So then they're like, they want to feel less guilty and be like, oh, there's other people like me. I'm glad that I heard this. You are not alone now.
No,
but everyone else is like, why are you telling me? It's the same with, like, no offense, because I watch Moonlight, so I'm immune. I'm immune because I watched Moonlight and I thought it was a good movie. But still, it's the same with, like, say certain, like, I guess certain, well, I would argue it's equally with straight people too, because you saw that's what I was talking about before. But same with gay people. I have no issue with gay. But it's not like I want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about your relationship, like, making out with a dude. I don't need to know. Like, not saying everyone does that, but I'm saying the ones who do,
So
I think certain things don't need to be said. You can
if
keep
I
it
were
to
gay,
yourself. Okay, I'll ignore the if. Okay, we start off with I were gay.
so if I were gay, and I wanted to tell you about my relationship and all that stuff, you wouldn't want to hear it? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
to be honest, I no, because it would change my viewpoint of you. Like regardless, even though I watched Moonlight, I was like,
So even though
now
we've
I
known each
see
other
you
for
differently.
going on 17 years.
Yeah, and these 17 years, I've never once went, you know, if Deontay ended up gay, I really want to know right when he did it. No, I don't even. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know. Like if I found out myself, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, what happened? And then you can explain. But if I'm not asking for it, like you just come up to me, it's like, Jabari, last night I needed that billion. I really needed it. I was like, why were you telling me? You could have just said I won $1 billion. You don't need to tell me the detail of how you got that billion.
Nah, you're gonna know. You're going to know.
But then again, maybe I'm just more of a private person, even though ironically
Yeah,
I
you
have
are.
this podcast. But
You know what's crazy? I just don't see how like a lot of people can be like, yeah, we were doing this. Like, you want to see pictures of my girl and things like that? Because one of my old coworkers, he was like that.
I had I don't know if I talked about this in a podcast or just to a friend. I don't remember. But I was saying, I think a lot of dudes, a lot of times they're like, when they walk around with a girl or when they have a girlfriend or when they do stuff, they're not doing it for the girl. Ironically, there is a slightly kind of LGBT vibe to it where they are showing the girl around because they want other dudes to look at them and be like, oh, you have a hot girlfriend. They're not getting a hot girlfriend because they think that it's hot a lot. Sometimes some of these dudes, they're getting the girlfriend because they want their friends to see that they achieved the hot girlfriend. They want the bro, like, the bro high fives to be like, oh man, you really got a good one. Like say when there are people who are walking around, like you'll see that even in Hong Kong or something, where there'll be people walking around, they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it because they want other people to watch and be like, oh, look at that couple. So I think it's ironic how a lot of this stuff, that's why a lot of these people are so trying to be so open, or not open, but like, they'll be like, oh, I want other people to know about my girlfriend, or here, look at these pictures of her, because you want that other, like, say you want your friend to look highly on you.
Yeah.
It's not because you're proud of your girl or whatever, but basically, more of the story is people a little sus.
Yeah, and I ain't with it. That's just weird. Like, I could never tell anybody anything.
Like, it's different if someone asks for it.
Yeah.
But that's my point, is that when people ask for it, sure, you could tell them. Now you could be open. But it's weird when you go up to someone unannounced and say it or show them or whatever. Like, say if I'm just chilling with you guys, just sitting on, we're just eating at the tropical smoothie, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, you want to see this girl that I was banging last night? Look at this. Where it's like, what was the point of that? Why'd you do that? Like, why would someone do that? Like, or why would someone, like, I don't know. That's not really a conversation starter. I mean, it is, but you're starting a conversation because you want your bro friends to be like, hey, nice, man.
You guys are so flipping weird.
I already gave this theory before, but I'm pretty sure, like, there are more people who are super, super closeted than we put into account. Yeah. Like, I already know, I have a friend named Papante Piff.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
But yeah. I think a lot more. And I think it explains a lot of stuff, like say even the sexism or the super bro culture or the super what I mean, I brought this up before, but what's his name? The freaking who's that super like pro male idol that
Andrew
all these
Tate?
dudes like? Yeah, Andrew Tate and stuff like that. Because like for me personally, like I would want to work with more women. Like why would you want to be surrounded by dudes if you're like straight? Like say if you're peak straight, like why would you want to be around other men? Because you're not like I mean other than like conversation wise, but why do other people are like no I want a whole fraternity? Like when I say fraternity I mean like the people who are like say sexist like with the work culture and stuff. We're like no I don't even want to see a woman in my office, I want only men. Where it's like that's getting a little weird. Where it's like, oh, you hate it at home, you hate your wife, and then you go out. The only time you're having the most fun is when you're with your bros. I'm like, what does that tell you? That means that, like, it makes me wonder, like, a lot of these like relationships or failed marriages is because the dude felt obligated to marry a girl. Like, where it just seems like, where it's like, why does he hate his wife so much? It's weird.
I hate her.
Or like, the stereotypical like 1950s, the stereotypical like 1950s like husband, on TV where he's like, oh, he hates his wife so much. Oh yeah, I hate my wife. They're making jokes about it constantly. Where it's like, there's something a little weird about that. Just a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like I would say I'm 10%. I would say I'm 10% sus. Because I would slob on a feminine knob, a femboy. They just have to wear makeup and wear a wig.
What?
What do you mean? If they look like a girl, I'm saying if they look fully like a girl, I could easily slob on a knob.
You mean for the 1 billion or just in general?
No, for free. I could easily slob on a knob.
Okay, so hold on.
But they have to look like a girl. They have to look like a girl.
So, what's a femboy? Is that a guy that just looks feminine?
That's like at least how I classify the three differences. So there's like three things. There's the cross-dresser. That's a dude who fully dresses like a girl, but is still a dude. The femboy is they like say a femboy would have they still kind of dress in a male way, and they still have like male-ish hair, but it's like super, super feminine. Like they might wear makeup or something. And I'm saying, and then trans is someone who completely identifies as a girl.
Yeah. So what you're saying is,
if they look enough like a girl, I will slob on the knob. I can slob on the knob for the free.
So you're bi.
No, because if they look like a male, I don't like it. I'm not attracted to masculine things. I'm only attracted to feminine things. And I'm saying if they look feminine and there's a knob to be slobbed, I can slob on the knob.
Guy that looks feminine. So
they have to look real feminine. They have to look real feminine. They have to look practically like a girl.
No, I can't do that because it's.
What do you mean?
I can't.
Feminine slob? A feminine knob? I mean.
No.
I'm saying if it's small, it has to be small. It can't be like a freaking baby, huge, 8-foot long freaking thick log. I'm talking about like a thin, feminine, like 3-inch long.
The only way I'm doing it is if there is a large lump sum of money involved.
It literally just looks like so like let's just say your girlfriend just all of a sudden she grew a knob.
No, we're done.
She's like, I don't know what happened. But
okay.
but it grew like 2 inches. It's just 2 inches.
Once you figure out what happens, come back.
I'm saying I can slob on a knob. I can slob on a small knob if it's on a feminine girl. Like let's just say whatever like K-pop star or whatever had a knob. I could slob on it. I'm assuming it's going to be like a feminine slob. But let's just say, like, I don't know, the average like freaking diesel bodybuilder woman has a knob. It's not looking feminine at that point. Even if it's like it's an actual girl, she's too muscly. Like for me personally, it's too muscly. So I couldn't slob on that knob, even if it's only 2 inches, because if I look anywhere except her face, it looks male. But like some thin freaking, I'm using K-pop because that's like a stereotypical, like super super thin, like stereotypical feminine type of look, because they're so freaking small. So like the tip, like a K-pop star, if they had a 2-inch little knob, everywhere I'm looking beyond the knob looks like a girl. So I can slob on that knob. Okay. I think we should all be proud of that.
I learned something new today.
What do you mean? How is that a big realization? It's the typical argument. It's like, would you rather bang The Rock, but The Rock ends up having a vagina, so she's a woman. Or
but you said you would do it for free. So that's what I discovered. You would slob one out for free.
No, because I'm saying everywhere else is not a male. Like, say if you rub on their leg, that is a feminine leg that you're rubbing on. The only quote masculine thing is that 2-inch little knob. I wouldn't even call it a knob. That's a nub. A 2-inch nub that's there. And all I'm saying is, I would slop on it. I'm not saying I'm actively going out looking for this to happen.
No. You don't have to. Jabari, I promise you don't have to explain.
I can hear it in your tone.
No.
I'm saying I'm not actively going out looking for knobs to slob on and saying I'm looking for femboy knobs to slob on. I'm saying
I know what you mean.
Like, let's say I met someone thinking that they were a female and end up, they were actually a male, or let's say they ended up being trans and they just didn't get their surgery or whatever. If it's a small 2-inch nub, I will slob on the nub.
Okay. Makes sense. I'm cool with it.
I don't even see what the controversy is. A 2-inch nub. That's no different than a regular clitoris. Except just a little bit longer. A lot longer.
Okay. I'm just kidding, Jabari. I'm just texting my client. But I just don't think I could. It's a knob.
But I'm saying because it's feminine, it would be like super, super smooth. So it'd be no different. I'm not saying you have to freaking going crazy on it. Because it's small enough, you're not really you're not going too deep. Like, I know you personally would go crazy no matter the size. But I'm saying for me,
oh shit, we're still on the podcast. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it regardless. Yep.
You disappoint me, Deontay. You really disappoint me.
How did I disappoint you? What did I do?
I just had this beautiful femboy TikTok star that I was going to send your way.
You can keep it. Okay. I am okay.
Okay. I'll just slob on it on my own, I guess.
Yeah.
So when the podcast goes viral, any attractive femboy come my way, come Deontay's way. Help change Deontay's mind. Help a brother out. Help a feline out, slobbing on the knob. No. I'm sure that Deontay in the future will appreciate your generosity.
He will not. I promise you that.
If you see him walking, just pull him down.
Nope. Future Deontay would probably kill everybody. There will be murder, lots and lots of murder.
Now, I'm willing to. Deontay has personally said he's willing to increase his body count for this opportunity. I am too.
Did not.
You know, if I were at 29, I was at that threshold to, you know, where it's getting a little weird.
I'm a virgin.
You know, I would risk it. I would risk passing that threshold for a feminine femboy knob slob.
No, I'm a virgin, so.
Well, I mean, that's the perfect way to lose it, I would say. I mean, are you even technically losing it in the eyes of God if you're slobbing on a knob?
Yes.
Or no. Because I would argue the definition of virginity and losing it is if you risked the possibility of impregnating someone. Because that was the issue with, you know, keeping a virgin, is that the girl, you know, during the sexist ages, they're like, you know, a woman needs to stay virgin because you don't want her to get pregnant before she finds her match. I guess same with male. You don't want the male to impregnate a person that he's not matched with. So, like, say, obviously, having full-blown vaginal sex is losing your virginity. Obviously, you know, if you were banging a male, that's still losing your virginity because that's simulating the act of partial impregnation, because, you know, you're in that situation where you're like acting like you're impregnating, like where, you know, you're stimulating it basically because you're going fully into a specific, like, you know, whatever. But slobbing a knob, you can't impregnate someone slobbing a knob. So you would keep your virginity. What the heck is that? What the heck is that?
That's the song I'm mixing.
Oops.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just imagining Deontay in the future. You know, the podcast goes viral and he gets the opportunity to slob on a feminine knob. You know, a lot of people would pay for that opportunity.
Let him.
Oh, so you'll pay. You're okay with being paid for it. I mean, you already said you're okay with being paid.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Okay. I was about to say, because I'm like, okay, so you want to slob on a male knob for $1 billion, but a feminine knob, that's what is too far. Like, oh, that says a lot. That says a lot about you.
It's all for money.
No, that says a lot about you. I'm gonna say.
No. Jabari, I think this was a good episode.
Yeah, I mean, there were 2 episodes in that. You want to go to split it up?
I can't wait to tell Evan to listen to it.
Luckily for me, I know he's not going to listen to it. So
if I tell him what's inside of it, he will.
He won't remember because this podcast will come out in like March.
Why March?
Because I have a bunch of podcasts in the way. I have the All Toro podcast.
Way.
What was the podcast we did after that? We talked about something. I don't remember. And then I did a couple of solo podcasts, actually. I did another controversial podcast about God.
Oh, is that up for air?
Nope, that's coming out in late February.
I have to hear that one.
It's about how I think God is a female. I said it. Because it makes perfect sense. And my rationale is perfect. And then I was talking about how there are Liliths in the world and there are Eves. Don't be like
There's
Eve.
what?
Be like Lilith. Lilith, the first female in existence, lore-wise, like literally lore-wise, the Dead Sea Scrolls. You should look that up.
I should do that. Just text it to me.
Nope.
Why not?
I don't feel like looking up.
So you're lazy.
So you're lazy.
How am I lazy, Jabari?
Why don't you do it yourself?
Because my tendonitis is acting up.
Oh, I see what the. Now I slob on a feminine knob. You don't want you
What?
don't feel you're too lazy to do it yourself. So you don't want to slob on the knob. You want the knob to slob on you. You're
Jabari, I will talk to you tomorrow. I want it out for free. Lots and lots of slobbing. It's getting done. That dick is worth it. Enjoy the rest of your night. And please, want it out for free. Like I am. Goodbye.
Well.